Hello everyone! Today's video is not a regular news update. This is a war editorial about what has just happened in Venezuela. First, let's be clear with our words. What the United States did was not a simple capture or arrest of Nicolás Maduro. It was the kidnapping of a sitting president in military raid after airstrikes that killed civilians and soldiers in Caracas. Maduro was taken from his own country and flown in chain to New York to face a U.S. court. He has pleaded not guilty and described himself as a prisoner of war, not a criminal. Some major Western media outlets are now literally banning their journalists from using the word kidnapping in this case. Internal memos at the BBC, for example, tell staff to use words like captured or seized instead of kidnapped when talking about Maduro. This is not a small detail. When you change the word, you change the way people see the crime. Capture sounds like a police operation. Kidnap it. Expose what this really is. A powerful state using force to snatch another country's president and drag him before its own courts. On this channel, we will not adopt that language. We will call it what it is, a kidnapping, an act of imperial aggression, and a dangerous precedent for the entire world. Even people who do not like Maduro personally need to understand what is at stake here. If it's become normal for Washington to bomb another country, remove its president and put him on trial in the US, then no government is safe. Today, it is Venezuela. Tomorrow, it could be any country that refuses to hand over its resource or follow orders from the so-called West. At the United Nations, many states, including critics and longtime allies of the US, have warned that this operation breaks the basic rules of international law. They say it undermines the UN Charter and creates a dangerous precedent for everyone, not just for Venezuela. Let's also be honest about motives. US officials and Donald Trump himself have been very clear. They say the US will run Venezuela for a while, fix its oil infrastructure, and bring in American oil companies to unlock the country's huge health underground. This is not human rights or the rule of law. This is about oil, power, and control. Venezuela has some of the largest proven oil reserves in the world. It has tried for years to follow a path independent from Washington. Now it is being punished with bombs, with kidnapping, with sanctions for refusing to behave like a colony. There is another shocking element in the story: the role of the media. Yeah, reports indicate that some major US outlets were told in advance about the plan of hit Venezuela and kidnap Maduro and agreed to keep quiet till the operation could not be compromised. Then, after the bombing and kidnapping, those some outlets carefully avoid words like kidnapping and repeat the official narrative. What this was a law enforcement action, that Maduro is simply drug trafficker, that the airstrikes were surgical and limited. At the same time, civilian deaths, the fear in Caracas, and the image of destroyed neighborhoods are pushed to the margins or framed as regrettable collateral damage. This is not independent journalism. This is information warfare. This is warfare in support of an imperial operation. You do not have to agree with every decision of the Venezuelan government to understand this basic principle. No foreign power has the right to bomb a country, kidnap its president, and decide who should rule there. What's being tested in Venezuela today is not only one government, it is the very idea that peoples have the right to choose their own leaders, manage their own resource, and live without being under permanent threat of foreign intervention. If this kidnapping is allowed to stand, and if it's normalized by the media and by the other governments, the message is clear. The empire can do it wants, whatever it wants. No justification needed. Why movement and people all over the world are now saying no war on Venezuela, no to imperial kidnapping, yes to sovereignty and self-determination. On this channel, the position is simple. We call this a kidnapping, not a capture. We denounce the bombing and the trial in New York as violation of international law. We stand in full solidarity with the people of Venezuela and with all those who are resisting imperial violence around the world. If you found this video useful, share it, leave a comment, and help break the media blockade. Thank you for watching.